24 teams have been preparing for this moment since the end of Quack's Marble Clash Season 1, but they are here today to compete for spots in Season 2. Hello everyone, I am your host Quack, and I am excited to present the Qualifiers for QMC Season 2, where we will see these 24 teams competing for the 12 remaining spots alongside the 4 auto-qualified teams. But you can see the first of the 2 events that we will be having today, the Tower Descent. It's a team event. We saw it in the friendly round where 4 members of each team descend the tower, and part of it is speed. The lead marble will be timed, but you get penalty seconds for every marble that doesn't finish. So of course you still need your whole team to get down to the end. You only need your first to be fast though. We'll see how this event plays out with our 2 different groups that were determined by the draw earlier, and there are several teams who are competing for these spots. You can see Group A right here. Some of the favorites, the Loaves of Bread, Stingrays, and the Season 1 host, the Wavebreakers. They were the main contenders in this group, but we'll be starting with the opposite end, the Azure Diamonds, who only got 12th in the B-League last season, only escaped relegation on a tiebreaker, but right now they're looking pretty good. Still have everybody going, oh, they lose one in a pinwheel there, but they're still looking pretty good. Oh, they lose another one. Oh my goodness, it all came undone, and only one of their marbles will make it to the end. That was a disaster right at the end. They had it going really well up until that point. They got everybody through the first staircase, everybody looking clean, and even through the first pinwheel, but then the second one, that's whenever their first member got stuck, and it only came further undone from there. They have a new Captain Carrot, and evidently there are some growing pains with that new position as team leader, as 3 of their 4 marbles getting stuck. A 14.35 is a disastrous time. Technically will take the provisional lead, but now the Pink Pallets, let's see, should be relatively easy for them to beat that time, I imagine, but right now they're looking pretty good. Last season they were 10th in the B-League, which is decent, but not the greatest, and they lose 1 in the pinwheels. They were so close to having a perfect run, but still a very solid performance by the Pink Pallets here. I imagine that will be comfortably beating the Azure Diamonds, but we'll see what the time is when the graphic comes on screen. You can see right there is where they got a little bunched up. They managed to get everybody through that first yellow pinwheel, though, and the key to this event is really keeping your marbles spread out. The closer they get to each other, the easier it is to bunch up and get somebody stuck in a 10.77, pretty respectable. Only about half a second behind the record set by the King Crabs in the friendly round. And now let's see what the Orange Fizz can do. They were 7th overall in the B-League last season, which is, once again, decent, but not amazing, especially for the B-League. Right now they're looking pretty good, though. They're keeping their last marbles a little tight. They might hurt them later, and they get everybody at the end. Oh, one of them gets stuck right on the loop. Unfortunate for them. They almost had everybody get to the end, but that's been the story of the Pink Pallets and the Orange Fizz as well. We'll see. It's all going to come down to time between them and the Pink Pallets because they have the same amount of penalty seconds, but you can see how clean they were all the way up until that point, but their anchor marble got a little too close, and it will not be enough to beat the Pink Pallets. Only an 11.52. Still a strong time, but not the greatest, especially with the 1 penalty second. And now let's see what Team Pixie can do. Last season missed out on a heartbreaking tiebreaker, but do not want to make the same mistakes here, and right now they're looking pretty fast. They've still got everybody going, and their anchor marble is staying spread apart. That's what you want. Right now they're still looking good. They've already got their lead marble to the end, and all 4 of them will get to the end. That was a very impressive run from Team Pixie. They got everybody at the end. You can see how clean they were throughout the entire race, keeping everybody moving and keeping their anchor marble at a safe distance to make sure that they can, sweep up anybody who gets stuck while also giving everybody space. It's really a strategic event. A 9.73, a very strong time from Team Pixie. Might be the first time we've ever seen a sub 10-second time, and that will obviously reset the record, absolutely demolishing the King Crabs time from the friendly round. Wow. Now the Rose Rollers have a hefty task to follow that up. We'll see what they can do. Right now they're looking pretty fast, but we'll see. They're keeping a little bunched up, and that will hurt them there. They lose 1 in the pinwheel, and now they're starting to spread out, learning from their mistakes a bit, and they will get 3 at the end very quickly. I wouldn't be shocked to see that take 2nd place, but with the 1 penalty second, it's going to be very difficult to beat Team Pixie, even if they had a faster time. But it just goes to show that most of the game is really keeping all of your marbles going, and speed is mostly just a secondary factor. But we'll have to see. Yeah, 10.75, they're only 0.02 of a second slower than Team Pixie, but because they had that 1 penalty second, it will be a full second behind them in their score. Let's see what the Flashbangs can do. Rebranded after last season, finished on the overall podium in the B-League. Very strong performance, but let's see how they're doing here. Looking very fast, but they're staying a little bunched up. That might hurt them later, and they will get... Oh, they get 3 all the way to the end, but where did their 4th marble go? Oh, they got stuck in the chute right there. An unfortunate circumstance for the Flashbangs. They were looking so strong throughout, but just missed out on the end, which pretty much perfectly describes how their B-League went last season. They had a very comfortable lead heading into the last two events and just missed the B-League title to the Wizard Lizards at the end. But you can see right there, I think they made a bit of contact with their third marble. That will really hurt them, 11.09. It's not going to be nearly enough to challenge out of the 6 runs so far. Unfortunate for the Flashbangs. But now let's see what the Positrons can do. Out last overall last season in the main league. So not coming off a great showing, trying to prove they have what it takes, and they've also got a brand new member, but they've lost one. But as I mentioned, Anti-Charge is doing pretty well, and that last marble stumbles across the line. Of course, it doesn't really matter as long as they get to the end. That's the important part. So the only time that matters is your lead marble, which in this case is their new marble, Anti-Charge, and right now they did a pretty decent job. That one marble getting stuck in the hurl right there, you can see, didn't really have any chance of getting through that because of their third marble sort of blocking them. And 11.24, not great from the Positrons. And it just goes to show it really is all about teamwork, and the Positrons definitely did not master that here, despite being one of the greatest teams in the Captain's Championship last season. And now let's see what the Checkmates can do. Last season, barely made it into the main league. A bit controversial, but especially with their 13th place finish. But right now, doing decently, staying... they lose one, but they look very fast all the way at the end. That could still challenge for second place, but we've seen how hard it is to get all 4 of the marbles down. We've only seen Team Pixie do it so far among the teams here. It's a friendly round. We saw a couple teams do it, but they were much slower. But we'll have to see how the Checkmates compare. I think this will be enough to take second place with how fast they're looking. Their Captain Queen doing a great job there, and a 10.68 will comfortably take second place, but it's still almost a full second behind Team Pixie. Though, of course, that's only due to the penalty seconds. They actually were the fastest team we've seen so far. So, just goes to show. But now, let's see what the Purple Flames can do. 11th overall in the main league last season. Not bad, but not great either. And they've already lost one to one of the Pinwheels. Not doing too great. And they're also not looking very fast. Their captain came to almost a stop on the little blue piece at the end, which is not good for their time. I don't think this will be very fast, and that one penalty second will hurt them quite a bit. I'll have to see how this compares, but I doubt this will be contending for one of the top few spots, as we're now getting through most of the runs for Group A. Not a good sign. If the run can't contend here, we'll have to see. Only 7th out of the 9 runs so far with an 11.38. Not great. You can see how their second marble did a good job to give the speed boost to their captain to get them across the line, but still wasn't enough. Let's see what the Wavebreakers can do now. Season 1 hosts, they're the only team who's never been into qualifiers, so that inexperience hopefully won't hurt them. But right now they still have everybody moving. Their 4th marble closeout doing a good job. Keep everybody going and give their 3rd marble an extra nudge, and they'll get everybody at the end. That doesn't look very fast, though. I doubt that'll be able to contend with Team Pixie, just based on speed alone. That might be able to take second place, though. Honestly, with how fast the Checkmates were, I'm not even sure if they'll be able to do that. We'll have to see, but you can see, the Wavebreakers did an excellent job with teamwork here, getting everybody to the end, and a 10.2 will take second place, but you can see right there that moment where a closeout helped out, but they weren't that fast. That would have been around the same level as the King Crabs in the friendly round, so not bad, but only second place. But let's see what the Stingrays can do. Now we're getting to the teams that had really great, remarkable seasons. They lost one on the staircase. Don't see that very often, but the Stingrays got 6th overall last season, but it's a bit misleading because they're only 3 points off the podium, and they will get 3 at the end in pretty good time here. We'll see what that one marble hurt them right there. I think that was Manta, their second member, getting stuck right there. At least they did a good job letting the other marbles get by, not hanging up the whole team. That would have been disastrous to add 2 extra penalty seconds on top of the one they're already going to get. But you can see that after that, they did a good job learning from their mistakes and recovering with all their marbles spreading out. And 11.29, it's still only enough to take 8th place. Not great for the Stingrays, but we'll have to see. There's still 3 more events to go. I imagine they can still recover, but let's see what the Loaves of Bread can do. One of the teams in that 3-way tiebreaker at the end of Season 1. They almost lose 2 right at the start. That was not good, but they managed to get them going again, and they still have all 4 going, and now they get the captain down pretty quick. Their 4th marble just at the end came to a stop. It looked pretty strong. They did a great job recovering after that incident on the staircase where their 2nd marble hindered the rest, but just at the end, their 4th marble could not keep going. And sometimes, I imagine even exhaustion can really hurt these teams, just getting all the way to the end, especially after stopping briefly in a 10.94. Actually, not a bad time at all. We'll still take a top half spot, but only just with 6th place. But that means Team Pixie will take the first win in Group A with 9.73, absolutely blowing everyone else out of the water. The Wavebreakers and Checkmates happy to also get medals here. Rose Rollers, Pink Pallets, and Loaves of Bread will round out the qualification zone after Event 1, but of course there's still 3 more to go, so there's plenty of time for that to change. Meanwhile, the Azure Diamonds on the opposite end. But now we head into Group B, which I mentioned in the draw had some even stronger contenders, but of course we still start in the reverse order. So the City Lights, one of the other rebranded teams, and last season they got 11th in the B League, where they were almost relegated, but managed to escape it. Right now they're looking pretty... Oh no! What happened there? They got... all of their marbles were going, then out of nowhere, 3 of them got wedged in that pinwheel right there. A disaster for the City Lights. That'll be the first true DNF we've seen in this event. They were looking so strong throughout, and then it just all came undone in one instant, practically. The captain came to a stop in the blue section at the bottom, which we've seen before, but usually their teammates can dislodge them, but you can see their second marble got wedged in the pinwheel right there. A disaster for the City Lights. They will most likely be getting dead last, or at least tied for it. Now let's see what the Avocados can do. Just have to finish to improve on that and guarantee some points, but they were another team with a decent B-League last season, but not great. They've lost 1 to a pinwheel, but they're still going pretty quick, I think, and actually, looking at it now, they probably got around to 10.2 or 3, so we'll see how that 1 penalty second hurts them. I don't think this will be that great of a time, but at least it'll be beating the City Lights because they got a time at all, but not the greatest from the Avocados. We'll have to see how this compares. You can see they got a little bunched up toward the middle of the course here, and that was almost was their undoing, but 11.01 is decent. Around that 11-second mark is usually toward the middle of the results, so we'll see how it compares to the rest. So into the next team, the Soaring Skies only just beat the Avocados in the B-League last season. Both very vibrant teams, but the Soaring Skies have lost 1 to the Staircase pretty early on. Not a great start, but they're managing to recover pretty well. They're getting 3. They got their captain to the end very quickly, it looked like, and their other 2 will follow suit. They stayed spread apart after that first incident. We're seeing how some teams are really able to recover despite making mistakes early on, and sometimes that's also what this event is about. It's not just about teamwork, it's about adaptability, and you can see here how the Soaring Skies really mastered that, staying spread out, especially on that second staircase, learning from their mistakes, and a 10.36 will take the lead despite having that 1 penalty second. That is a very strong time. That's, I believe, the fastest we've seen of anybody, but not the highest score, obviously. And now let's see what the Flying Saucers can do. 5th in the B-League last season, very respectable. Oh, they lost 1 on the Staircase as well. We've seen a lot of teams starting to do that, but they too are learning from that. They're spreading out a bit more, and they will get, though their third marble is hindered a bit right there on the blue part, but it will still get to the end, despite faltering for a brief moment. And I think this will be able to take second place, perhaps. It's between them and the Avocados. It's hard to say for sure, but still a very strong time from the Flying Saucers, I'd have to imagine. I don't think they'll be able to beat the Soaring Skies, but they're a blazing fast time. But yeah, not even close to 10.92 is still very strong. That will take second place of the 4 so far. But now we've seen how the times are going in Group B, so these later teams have a lot more to study and a lot more to adapt to. As the Balls of Water, let's see what they can do. 4th in the B-League last season, and oh, they've already lost 1 on the Staircase. But let's see how, right now they're not really recovering, they're staying spread out, and it looks like our 4th marble managed to keep going. Somehow they're they're very slow across the line, though. I don't think that'll be very good for the Balls of Water. I don't know if that'll even beat the Soaring Skies, if I'm being honest, with how slow their captain got to the end, but because they don't have a penalty second, that will be a big help. If they even were within a second of the time from the Soaring Skies, they will still take the lead. It is pretty remarkable how their 4th marble managed to recover and keep going, and I was right, they will not take the lead. Despite being the first run in Group B to get all their marbles to the end, they will only take second place. So it goes to show there is some level of speed that is important to this event. And now let's see what the Wizard Lizards can do. Champions of the B-League last season, just managed to catch up at the very end, and right now they're looking pretty good. They're keeping everybody... Oh, their 4th marble did a great job there to get their 3rd marble going after they got stuck on the Staircase, and that was some excellent teamwork by the Wizard Lizards to get everybody to the end, and showing why they won the B-League last time around. But we'll see. I don't know if this run either will be fast enough to beat the Soaring Skies. I'm not sure. We'll have to find out when the time comes up. You can see their 4th marble did a great job there to keep their 3rd marble moving, and no, it will not be enough to beat the Soaring Skies either. Only a 10.62. Just goes to show how fast the Skies were in their run, but now the pressure is mounting as we get to the teams that were in the main league last season, starting with the Pollen Puffs, the last of the 3 rebranded teams, and they were not the greatest, only 15th overall, but They're trying to make a name for themselves this time around, and right now they've still got everybody moving in pretty quick time, and they will get everybody to the end, just barely. There were several parts where the teammates had to dislodge each other, but just goes to show how much teamwork this team has. They're usually a more team-oriented team, if that makes sense, but you can see right there how they all managed to get around the pin in the staircase, and right there, there's several moments here where they work together to get everybody to the end at a 10.41, and yet another run with 0 penalties, but still not enough to take the lead from the Soaring Skies. That's just how fast they were, I suppose, but the Chili Peppers, another team known for speed, perhaps they will be able to challenge, but they've already lost one on the staircase. Not a great sign, but they're still looking pretty fast. They're not the most spread out, though. That could hurt them as they get into these pinwheels. And they lose both of them. It all came apart for the Chili Peppers, similar to the Azure Diamonds in Group A. They lost one on the staircase. It looked like they were going clean after that, but then just at the end, they managed to lose a couple. You can see how their third marble even got dislodged thanks to the one on the staircase trying to let them through, but even that teamwork would not be enough. Right at the end, they get way too bunched up on the staircase, and it all comes undone in the pinwheels. A 14.32. Disastrous for the Chili Peppers, though thanks to the City Lights getting a DNF, they will still get at least 1 point from this event. But now let's see what the Slush Rush can do. Last season, 12th overall with a decent season, not great. They did still get 4 medals, but inconsistently hurt them a lot, and right now they're looking very fast. They've got everybody still moving, and this could definitely be a challenger. They get their lead marble at a very fast time. And their 4th marble stumbles a bit, but they will get everybody at the end. And that was a great time from the Slush Rush. I was going to say, last season, they did a great job in their group in the qualifiers, despite their mediocre main league performance. But you can see their strategy here, keeping their 4th marble grapple way behind the rest. And that definitely paid off because they didn't get anybody stuck, except for that one part where Grapple managed to help them out at a 9.62. That was even better than Team Pixie's run from the first group. They will definitely be taking the lead here, and of course the record. But even though the Soaring Skies were technically still faster, but not faster by enough. And now let's see what Rhapsody and Blue can do. Another team that was inconsistent, but had a sort of mediocre season in Season 1, trying to improve upon that. And right now they're looking pretty quick, but they got one stuck on the staircase briefly, but they will get everybody at the end. And well, actually, wait a minute. I only see 3 coming through the finish line there. We'll have to look at this. Oh no, their 4th marble getting stuck right before the finish line, only millimeters away from finishing the course, but that will be a penalty second. And mistakes like that are sometimes what can make or break the difference in these kinds of events. And that was a bad mistake there to just barely lose all the speed before the finish line. Heartbreaking turn of events for them, and that will only give them 8th place. With a full extra second, they could have definitely done better than that, but only 8th out of 10 for Rhapsody and Blue. Not going to be a great start to these qualifiers, but now let's see what the Snapping Turtles can do. Last season, they were 7th overall, but it's a bit misleading considering they were so close to finishing on the overall podium in Marathon, with the reserve Shelby doing a great job, and they will get everybody at the end in very fast time. The Snapping Turtles putting up a challenge here to the Slush Rush. We'll have to see how this compares, but that looked like a very strong run, getting everybody down in quick time and keeping everybody spread apart. That's the important part. Their Captain Bowser doing a great job, aided by Yertle behind him at a 9.5. That'll take the record once again and take the lead here in Group B. I think Group B, they've had more time to study what worked for teams like Team Pixie in Group A, and it's definitely paying off for them. But now the Terra Titans, easily the favorite of any of the teams in the qualifiers here. 4th overall last season, only missed the auto qualification by a few points, but they've already got one stuck in the chute. And they also won qualifiers dominantly in Season 1, but right now they will get 3 marbles to the end, but I'm not sure that was the fastest time, and that one marble getting stuck there, they were looking pretty strong until that point, but you can see right there they got stuck in the chute for a moment. The rattling of the tower as the marbles moved down might have dislodged them, but they apparently got stuck again higher up on the course in the hurdle section, but yeah, that's only 9th place for the Terra Titans. Not a great start for the team that was so dominant in the qualifiers last season, but of course there's still 3 events to go. A lot can happen, but that means the results of Group B, the Snapping Turtles will take the win here, with the Slush Rush and Soaring Skies rounding out the podium. The Soaring Skies, despite being well behind the top 2, still very, very fast, but that one penalty second hurt them. And then the Pollen Puffs, Wizard Lizards, and Balls of Water also starting in the qualification zone. A few surprises outside of it, though, especially the Terra Titans, but we'll have to see. As now we move to the second event of the qualifiers, the hurdles, which very similar to the sprint we saw last season, and we saw it in the friendly round as well, but here it's going to be multiple heats, but there's no advancement. It'll just be based on time, so you just have to be as fast as possible, not even relative to your heat, just relative to the rest of the teams in your group, and you can see all the coaches back lined up to guide their marbles as they head in for Group A. So you start with the Purple Flames, Stingrays, Rose Rollers, and Checkmates. A few notable teams, the Stingrays especially, doing a pretty great job in main league. Right now they have the lead. The Checkmates are close, but they're just not going to be able to challenge. And it was a pretty clean shot from start to finish for Manta of the Stingrays, doing a great job there. The Rose Rollers did a pretty good job blocking Soot from the Purple Flames and preventing them from taking the third place spot. So we'll have to see you can see a lot of the strategy here, and a 3.42 will be the starting mark to beat from Manta of the Stingrays. The Night, Pansy, and Soot not really able to keep up there. Now let's see, Orange Fizz, Pink Pallets, the Positrons debuting Anti-Charge, and Closeout from the Wave Breakers. Let's see what these teams can do. And the Wave Breakers off to a poor start, but it's the Pink Pallets. The Positrons are close, but they just can't do it. And Hugh from the Pink Pallets, the captain, will be bringing home another solid result. The Pink Pallets were a bit of a sleeper heading into this event, or heading into the qualifiers in general, but they've done a pretty solid job so far in the Tower Descent, and now they're looking pretty good here in Sprint. You can see they had a pretty comfortable lead, and Closeout actually almost closed in on Anti-Charge and took second place, but that'll only be enough for fourth overall so far for the Positrons, and that's a new record for the Pink Pallets, so very impressive there. But now the Flashbangs, Loaves of Bread, Azure Diamonds, and Team Pixie fighting for the last few spots in Group A. This event goes by quick, and right now it's Bun from the Loaves of Bread with a narrow lead. They will hold on to it though. Wondra from Team Pixie did a great job there, but they just couldn't quite find a way around the Bun. It shows how this track is very tight. There's not a lot of room though. Perhaps Wondra wasn't even trying to get around, just wanted to stay in the draft and go as fast as possible. But evidently it worked because they stayed toe-to-toe, and they actually will go 1-2 in this event. The Loaves of Bread will take the win here, and Team Pixie taking second place overall, while the Azure Diamonds and Flashbangs not quite as close. And actually, Bun will take the record for this event. Well, I guess that makes sense considering they won it, but that means the Loaves of Bread will be taking the win here in this second event. Team Pixie and the Pink Pallets rounding out the podium. And Team Pixie, I mentioned learning from their mistakes from last season. They've definitely done so, getting gold and silver in the first two qualifier events here. Very strong start for their qualifiers. They have 27 points already. It's going to be tough for them to lose that gap. But meanwhile, the Stingrays and Rose Rollers are tied on the bubble. And while the Checkmates, Wave Breakers, Pink Pallets, and Loaves of Bread are all currently on the inside looking out. But of course, we're only halfway through. There's still a lot that can change as we head into Group B now. Let's see what these teams can do. Is now they've had one event under their belts. The Pollen Puffs, Rhapsody in Blue, Terra Titans, and the Soaring Skies have many things to prove, as right now it's Rhapsody in Blue out ahead. The Terra Titans are close, but they're just not going to be able to catch up. And it didn't look like the Soaring Skies did that great, despite being so fast in Tower Descent. They had third place. The Pollen Puffs were looking for a way around. And, ooh, that hard block there. There was a lot of physicality for that third place spot there. But it will be Percussion from Rhapsody in Blue, one of the best athletes on their team, getting a 3.34, a very solid time to take the provisional lead for now in Group B. Is now Flurry, the brand new reserve for the Slush Rush, as well as the Avocados, Chili Peppers, and the Wizard Lizards are coming out now. And right now it's Cayenne from the Chili Peppers way out ahead. It's going to be very close for second place, though. It looked like Flurry had it, but perhaps their inexperience showing they're losing it just barely at the end to the Wizard Lizards. While the Avocados not really in the question there, though they were still very close. I think the Wizard Lizards just barely caught it at the end there. We'll have to see it from this cam. Yes, they did. Okamoto, their reserve of the Wizard Lizard, just barely beat Flurry. And those 4th through 6th, it was all very close in that heat other than the Chili Peppers. But now we head into Heat 3. The Snapping Turtles, Balls of Water, City Lights, and the Flying Saucers. Let's see what these teams can do. It's the Balls of Water out ahead for now, but the Flying Saucers take it, and they will hold on to it all the way to the end. Surprisingly poor result for Bowser of the Snapping Turtles, one of the strongest teams here, but the Flying Saucers made a great comeback and then the City Lights almost took second place. The Balls of Water did a good bit of recovering there. Steam was one of the best marbles on their team in the B League, but Saturnian of the Flying Saucers will actually take the win in Group B here, and that actually will take the record as well with a 3.25 second run. And that means the Flying Saucers, despite having a relatively quiet season in the B League last time out, they will be taking the win in this event with the Chili Peppers and Rhapsody in Blue coming away with medals as well. The Balls of Water just missing out despite making that miraculous comeback, but they were a full 10th behind, so I imagine that's not surprising, but the Flying Saucers will be leading this group heading into the second half. Snapping Turtles, Slush Rush, Balls of Water, Chili Peppers, and Rhapsody in Blue are all on the inside looking out, and the Soaring Skies, despite their strong start, are already outside the qualification zone. Not great for them, but we still have 2 more events to go, as we've already seen how things can change, how much things can shift. And both of the teams leading the groups are from the B-League last season, so many things are likely to change as we'll head into the second half. So stay tuned, and thank you for watching.